It's Monday Night Football.
The shadow's starting to get a bit longer. Week 10 of the NFL season is here, and we're underway on EA Sports. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So out come the Seahawks now for their first possession. They'll be led out by their 5'11 quarterback from Wisconsin by way of NC State, and that's Russell Wilson.
He had the numbers of a game last week that if you win, you talk about him being a gritty guy, managing the game, getting it done. But they lost. So obviously 2 interceptions, 1 touchdown pass, that's not going to be good enough. Got to get that changed around.
Now Wilson on first down. Pressure from his right, and he goes down hard, flat on his back. The former Seahawk and former Super Bowl MVP, Malcolm Smith. Credit him with a sack, and it goes as a loss of 6. This is Chris Carson, 1,000-yard rusher a year ago. Stopped at the 24-yard line after a gain of 5.
Defensively here, you're facing a top 5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL. So when they're that high-powered, you got to find a way to hold them under 20. Because to me, that's the magic number. 20 points scored gives yourself you give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
And I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace.
To throw is Wilson. And Boyd has it over the middle. And he'll be brought down right at the 30 here. The completion good for only 6, and that'll bring up 4th.
There's an example of good situational football being played by a defense. They understood where the third down play was, the down and distance, and made sure that they didn't get anywhere near that, bringing up 4th down.
Yeah, they were sniffing out that marker, didn't want to let him get close to there, and now a likely 3 and out to start.
Yeah, I love the way they rallied to the football and got to him and made sure he didn't give up much run after catch.
Here comes Pettis on the return. That's going to go in the books as a 55-yard punt. Well done. And the Niners will go on offense. 1st and 10. Garoppolo going to bring the Niners up here 1st and 10 at their own 19-yard line.
21. 6. Watch the ship. Begin.
Now a man who really stepped up last year. This is Matt Breida. Right off the bat, it's a 1st down to start the drive, 12 yards. This running game's so important for them, and they know that. It helped lead them to a victory last week when he was over 100 yards.
Let's face it, it's their identity, and that's what they want to play to. They want to be that team that runs the ball really well each and every week, and right now we're seeing a pretty good pattern of that happening.
Here we go.
1st and 10 now from the 30.
Let's go.
To throw is Garoppolo. And the tip there altered the ball flight, and it falls incomplete. It'll be 2nd down.
It's always a battle. Who's going to win on 1st down, the offense or the defense? Let's face it, if you've got the ball, 4 yards or more on 1st down is what you're aiming for. They tried to throw for it there. Nice effort to knock that one away and bring up 2nd down.
Here we go.
Ball on the 30 as they come up 2nd and 10.
Hey, box truck. My 50.
Now Garoppolo. Over the middle, he finds Pettis complete. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 11 yards there, 1st down.
That looked like a pretty good route combination there, because you've got to find a way to clear the guy running the drag, because when you do, you just put the ball on it and then let him run.
He's got some space. And he is swallowed up right at the line of scrimmage. He was taken down by Cassius Marsh. And as a defensive end, getting off the ball quickly, swarming to the football, making a tackle, that's what we saw right there.
Yeah, that's what their job is, and really a lot of the time they have to throttle back a little bit in the run game because you know those defensive ends, they're like in a sprinter stance. They're just headed straight for the quarterback. That was good recognition on that play to hold him to no gain. That was a good run, probably right on the edge of breaking into something really big. So the defensive guys right now are talking about, okay, what can we do to slow him down before he truly gets started?
Now a toss left side into the hands of his tight end. So much for the run on 3rd and 1. Instead, it's a big chunk in the pass game. First down.
I don't believe that this opening drive is surprising to either one of us after the time we spent with the coaching staff and players prior to the game. What about you?
Absolutely. Not only that, but that big article in this paper this morning about their philosophy on starting games like you're shot out of a cannon, and that's what they've done. Very methodical here on this first drive.
Yeah, so many teams talk about that fast start. We're actually seeing it happen right here in front of us.
But now the kicker. Can they cap it off by putting the ball in the end zone? Now this one to his running back out of the backfield. It'll be a gain of 8 yards, and that'll bring up 2nd down. And just in general, Charles, on a play like that, how tough is it for the defense to account for a running back essentially being a receiver downfield?
It's very difficult, especially if the running back has skills like a receiver, and you're aware of that before the game even begins. So throughout your practice sessions, you're going to want to be aware of him. Where is he lining up? What can he do? What kind of damage can he do to us downfield? And who can match up with him without weakening our overall defense? You're exactly right. It's a tough task to match up to him.
11 yards there, first down. Quite the opening drive march they're on right now.
It looks a lot like what we saw in practice prior to the game, doesn't it? You know, because on that last big practice beforehand, you go through your offensive script, you go through your play calling, you go through all the stuff and establish things, and it looks like it's going like clockwork right now for them.
Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9. On 2nd and 9, Fitzgerald.
I know that speed is the hallmark.
And they will score. It's a 49er touchdown. Nick Fitzgerald with his first career NFL touchdown. And the Niners have taken the early lead. One of the keys to their long winning streak has been scoring first. An ideal drive right there, getting the first 6 points of the ball game.
Do you go back to our meeting with the offensive coordinator? Remember what he told us?
Absolutely.
With some teams, I script to probe in the early part of the game. Other teams, I script to attack. They've been in attack mode for these ball games and continue that in this one.
After the touchdown, it's Robbie Gould now to kick it away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the... And out now come the Seahawks. And still a lot of football to be played in this season. We're only in November. A lot can happen between now and January. But if it ended today, they would just be on the outside of the playoff picture looking in. So a lot to fight for.
Yeah, and wasn't it interesting in our meeting with the coaching staff that they all made sure to let us know, we know where we are right now, but the playoffs don't start tomorrow. We still got some time, and they plan on putting it together.
And down he goes. The 49ers get there. D Ford has now recorded 10 sacks on the season.
Now that was just absolute perfect man coverage. Nowhere for them to go with the football. Led to a sack. That's really difficult to do in today's NFL with all these gazelles running around that you're trying to cover in the secondary.
Another try after the first down sack. Wilson, and that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up 2nd down. And Charles, got to like what this defense has been able to do these last couple of plays.
Yeah, they get the sack on first down, then they force the incomplete pass. Now they're just a play away from getting the football right back, but it's a big play. They've got to hold up.
And break, the tight end's got it. It'll be a gain of 8, but it'll also lead to a 4th down.
Well, the good thing about covering any game I do with you is I know that there's no problem with rhythm. Now, what we're watching offensively, a little bit of a problem there.
Yeah, punt on the first drive, looking at another one here. Just a little slow. You know, they were talking about a fast start, but that hasn't been the case.
Yeah, and let's face it, any team we cover always talks about a fast start.
That's true.
But it's not necessarily going to happen just because they say so. And whether it's the script, whether it's, you know, just what they're going through, whether they're seeing different defenses, they're going to have to figure it out as this game moves on.
Now a play fake here on first down. Trying to lay one up deep. And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's second down. Those passes out that far wide always make you hold your breath a little bit. Felt like it was in the air for a while.
What it does is it allows a defender to gain some ground, come from a long distance, and have a chance to affect the pass.
They try to throw on second down, but this one is incomplete. He was trying to get it to Jerick McKinnon there, but now it'll be third down.
After that throw, and it was definitely one that he would love to have back, I wonder what's going through his head. I wonder what kind of mind game he's playing with himself to get himself back on track. Because a lot of guys, that's what they do. They have little triggers that when the
a fight for the football, and it's intercepted. Picked off by the linebacker, Bobby Wagner. And his guys are going to take over at the 31-yard line.
Well, this is a defense that can confuse even the best of quarterbacks with their zone schemes. And here you've got a linebacker that's going to stay at home and just sit down in that zone. And this one basically comes right to him.
They'll run on first down. It's Carson. He'll be dropped at the 25 after a gain of 6. The numbers on the ground for Carson last week: 14 carries, 65 yards, and a touchdown as well.
So he scored his 8th touchdown on the ground last week, and most guys I know, they want to get into round numbers. So, 10 is really the goal, and this is one sport where being selfish and scoring touchdowns is a good thing. Look for he and the offense to try and get him in there at least twice in this game.
It'll go as a loss of a yard, and it'll set up third down. And this should be the final play before the quarter ends. Plays like we just saw there, that's why they're up right now. And the defense, they're doing their job.
Yeah, it starts with the guys up front. So when you talk with GMs who are putting together a team, a lot of them say, we're going to build from the inside out, because if you control the line of scrimmage, you control the rest of the ball game. And that's what we're seeing here. They're actually playing in the offense's backfield, not necessarily just playing at the line of scrimmage.
Now it's Wilson. And he's got his target. That's more. And he's going to have a first down here as he gets this one to the 17-yard line. His first catch, good for 9 and a first down. They'll throw on first down with Wilson. He's going to be sacked back at the 23-yard line. D Ford in there to drop him for his 11th sack of the year.
They were in the top 5 in sacks in the league coming into this one. That's their 3rd one in this game. Obviously, pass rush has been a strength of this team all year long.
And apparently they're not satisfied with top 5. They want to climb that ladder.
Yeah, I think it goes back to their offseason. They decided to make it a priority, and it's working out.
They get 11 back on that one. It leads to third down. From the gun on third down, Wilson looks to throw, fires right side. And that's going to be incomplete. The coverage too good there. The contact popped the ball free, and it's 4th down.
Once you get into the red zone and the safeties have less ground to cover, you'd better be quick with your delivery. Not much space to get a ball in there.
Yeah, when that field shrinks for those safeties, it's almost like there's a couple extra defenders out there, right?
It certainly is. They end up taking up extra space just because there's not enough space for receivers to run through.
So they do get 3 points, but that's now 3 drives with only the 3 points, not a ratio that's going to win you many ball games.
Not at all, Brandon. And think about it this way. We all know payoff is the key, right? And wouldn't we love to have the concession on every T-shirt that's been printed in football that says finish on it? Because that's the mantra everywhere. Got to be able to finish drives, put points on the board.
They'll start on the ground with Breida. He'll have a first down past the 40. And he'll be out of bounds, but able to get it up past the 45. That's good for 21 yards and a first down. A big hitter to start the drive has him up near midfield here for 1st and 10. And that one covered beautifully. Their defenders stayed home, and they'll stop him behind the line. Now that sends him 2 yards in the wrong direction and leads to 2nd down.
I like the idea to mix it up from time to time because, let's face it, you can't be predictable. But the execution was a little lacking on this one, right? They might want to go back to the drawing board with that call.
On 2nd and 12, Garoppolo. He's going to fire one deep left sideline. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete. The intended receiver, Marquise Goodwin, and it's 3rd down.
They decided to air it out a little bit on that play, take a shot downfield, but the coverage was really nice. Able to get a hand in and tip it away.
Now a third down throw, but it misses the target, incomplete. More problems here on third down. They've converted only once so far in this first half.
And you know as well as I do in this league, if you don't win on third down, it makes it hard to win a ball game because then you're relying on your defense, you're relying on your special teams. You've got to get it done with your offensive unit.
And a nice job here to down this one right on the 5-yard line. We get a look now at the 49ers defense as they get into position. Week 10 of the NFL coming to a close tonight. Not too early look ahead to Week 11. We've got Thursday Night Football to get us started. The Dog Pound going to be alive and barking. The first meeting of the year between the Steelers and the Browns. And since the Browns came back to Cleveland, the Steelers are 34-6-1 against their rivals. Browns trying to stem that tide. Another example right there how this defense really is winning the... Oh, and he's not going to make it out of the end zone. The push too strong, and that'll be a safety. And you know, the man who sat in my chair the last few years, he has a theory. These plays, these safeties, they're so rare. Maybe they should be worth more than 2, maybe 4 points.
I think he's got a great point. I really do, Brandon. But I would go ahead and up it to 6. I'm a former defender. To me, that's like scoring a touchdown.
Easy now. I'll go 4. I don't know about 6.
Come on, come on. Come up to 6.
A lot of points.
Here we go, get it.
Throwing on first down. Fitzgerald. And that will be incomplete. Would have been a big hitter if they had connected. Instead, it's second down. George Kittle, the Pro Bowl tight end, the intended receiver. And that'll bring up second down.
We own them. We own them. Watch out, watch out, watch out. 21. Set, watch out. Check, Mike, 54.
Off the play fake to McKinnon, it's Garoppolo. And he takes us beyond the 35 before going out of bounds. 16 yards, a first down.
Here we go.
There are so many things to watch for when you play defense. And reading your keys, you always hear about that, and having your eyes in the right place. Sometimes your eyes can fool you. How about that play action there? And it sprang the big guy, didn't it?
Able to dump it over the top to him. And now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete.
It's always tough trying to keep your guy upright when he's trying to throw the football. When you're dealing with those big, bad guys on the defensive front, it's even tougher. And this time, those guys on the opposite side won the battle, getting to the quarterback and knocking him into an incompletion.
Now this throw caught left side. 27 yards there, a first down. So the defense blitzed. A nice job picking that up, completing the pass.
And how in sync was the quarterback in his center on that play? They saw the blitz, made the appropriate calls, got the line engaged because now they know there are going to be extra guys coming at the quarterback, so they got their assignments down pat and kept them away from him, and he's able to step up in the pocket and fire one now for a really good strike.
And down right around the 32-yard line, 4 yards on the pickup.
When we see those runs to the perimeter, when we see those runs to the edge, we think about big breakers, don't we? In this case, it was a modest gain, but it does open up possibilities here on second down.
To throw on 2nd and 6, Garoppolo. That's caught left side by Jake Butt. And he's brought down, but not before he reaches the 8-yard line. That one covers 24 yards. It's a first down.
It certainly feels like there are more stars at the tight end position than there were even 10 years ago. And I think it's become more of a glamour position because of the ways it can hurt a defense.
That is caught by the tight end, Kittle. Touchdown, 49ers. George Kittle, his 6th touchdown of the season. And the 49ers add on to their lead. And he's such a talented tight end, just creates nightmarish tight matchups on the other side.
He's so good that when we say tight end, we're almost damning him with faint praise, aren't we? Because he can do it all. He's as good as any receiver in the NFL.
Well, that's the deal. He's a wide receiver, just in a bigger body.
Bigger body, a matchup nightmare, and who's going to cover him? When I sit in the film session, I just look at the coach and say, really? Really? You're going to yell at me? You go cover him.
This is fielded at the goal line. And he'll take it a yard or so past the 20, call it the 21-yard line.
Here we go.
And the Seahawks get ready to trot out on the field. And last time they surrendered the safety, we know they don't want to do that again.
That is just one of those oddities in scoring that we get, and it's just so strange.
And the Niners get there and bring him down. Nick Bosa has now recorded 10 sacks on the season.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Coming up at the half, a reminder, we go back to Orlando to check in with Jonathan Coachman. He'll have a look back at our first half, as well as a look ahead to what's coming up later this weekend. And from the 15, they're able to work this up to the 20 for a pickup of a handful. Wilson.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
Throwing is Wilson. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And he'll get up to the 43-yard line. Looking to throw again on second down. Wilson. Now the Seahawks going to use the first of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 55 seconds to go until halftime. Wilson to the Seahawks looking for something big. Wilson hit. It's loose. It's out. Fumble. And now this is scooped up by the 49ers. And his guys are going to get the football at the 23-yard line.
Well, that's a down and distance coaches always talk about trying to avoid, isn't it? I mean, that's third and long. And you just know they're pinning their ears back and coming after him, sometimes even with extra pressure.
And he knew that. I mean, he knew they were coming. He just fumbled it.
Yeah, he knew it. The offensive line knew it. Everyone did, yet the pressure was still there, and he ended up coughing it up.
Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete.
Even without a ton of pressure in his face, it just shows how difficult it is to pick apart his own defense. Those guys are sitting back, and they're not playing receivers as much as they're playing the eyes of the quarterback and when he delivers the ball.
Once again, they'll go from the 23-yard line on 2nd and 10.
I'm letting you know right now. One, Omaha.
To throw, it's Garoppolo. And he comes back with one complete. And brought down, but not before they get it inside the 10 to the 7. The 49ers now going to use the first of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 35 seconds to go in quarter number 2.
Here we go. One, Omaha. Switch it, come on, switch it. Hey, alert.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And he's brought down right at the 5-yard line. Give him 2 on the play. Now San Francisco going to call their second timeout as the clock will stop with just under 30 seconds to go in the first half. On second down now, it's Coleman. And he'll get him a bit closer as he's down to the 2-yard line. Now the Niners going to signal for their third and final timeout as they'll stop the clock with 24 seconds to go in this first half. The Niners on third down, just 1 for 3 thus far. They're looking at a 3rd and goal here. Here's Garoppolo to throw.
Brandon, this is why golfers do their best to never count a score in their head before the ball goes in the cup. This looked like a slam dunk for points on this drive, didn't it? Instead, they throw an interception, and they're going to come away empty.
They'll indeed start on the ground to run that clock. And he'll be upended after a gain of 5, up to the 25-yard line. And this will probably be the last play of the quarter. So we come upon halftime. There you have it. Halftime quickly over. Third quarter, here we go. It's the 49ers out in front, and they will get the football first as well as we are back and started in the second half. This will be fielded at the 6. And he'll take this across the 25, couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. Here comes Jimmy Garoppolo now to lead his offense back out there. And he's had some time to chew on that interception he threw on his last drive back in the first half.
Well,
now a loose football. Coleman lost it. And they have the football and will take over at the 24-yard line. Often on fumbles, you look at the guy who coughed it up and say, geez, what did he do? But, hey, Let's tip the cap to the defense here.
Not a problem at all, my man. I'm not even going to tip it. I'm going to doff my cap to him. Congratulations. Big-time play. Knocking it free and creating something good for your team.
That'll set him back with a loss of 3 on the play. And that'll make this a 2nd and 13.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the 3rd quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
Officials so cognizant of that call nowadays, but that one looked pretty easy.
Yeah, you're right. They took out of their hands having to wonder whether it's a 5-yard or a 15-yard, inadvertent or not. Now, it's a lot easier. You see it, you call it.
A throw there, but that's going to wind up incomplete. The rookie DK Metcalf, the intended receiver. And now it's 2nd down. That pass just a little bit off. It looked like maybe he tried to force it in there.
Game speed.
And he is in for the Seattle touchdown. Cameron Brate, his 6th touchdown of the season. And the Seahawks capitalize on the short field as they take it in for 6. Myers connects on the PAT, and that will get him one closer. Scoring summary, 3-play drive, and the Seahawks capping it off with a touchdown. This one fielded at the 5. Gets past one man. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get it up to the 29-yard line. And San Francisco gets set to go here. And last time, not only the turnover, but that turned into 6 points. They got to make up for that here.
We always hear about empty possessions, but some are worse than others. You can have an empty possession, pump the ball away, get yourself set to play defense, but when you turn it over, it changes momentum, and when they take it downfield and punch it in on you, that's a bad possession all the way around.
Yeah, but you're hungry to get back out there, aren't you?
You better be, because otherwise, it's going to be a long day for you.
Now left side, a completion to his tight end. He's going to go out of bounds, but he takes this one down just shy of the 20. 2 chunk plays in a row. The last one was over 20 yards, and so is this one. Well, that tight end position, it just seems to continue to evolve every year in the NFL.
Yeah, you're getting really terrific athletes. A lot of them maybe were wide receivers at one point. They continue to give you speed, great hands, and big bodies, which make them excellent targets for quarterbacks. And that's one of the reasons you like to blitz even on rundowns. It confuses the blocking assignments. It doesn't allow those offensive linemen to get up to the 2nd level.
The tally there, minus 2 yards, brings up 3rd down.
I know when I was a kid, I always got real excited when I saw those lateral-type runs. But the best backs that made it happen, they put a foot in the ground and just go. That didn't happen there. That play got swallowed up.
Throwing now is Garoppolo. A bullet throw, but incomplete.
Certainly looked like maybe his 3rd or his 4th read on his progression. Just trying to find his outlet man that time. Ends up leading him just a bit too much.
And the 14-year trusty veteran able to knock it through. CD, you know there were quite a few Bears fans back in January saying, why didn't we hold on to that Robbie Gould guy?
Well, it's a legitimate question. 33 of 34 for San Francisco in 2018. The crazy stat of the year, he missed more extra points, 2, than he did field goals, 1 in the 2018 season. So
let's glance at a player's spotlight now with Russell Wilson. He's been pretty good when he's had time. The issue is, as we see here, a lot of times he hasn't had the time. Wilson, the Seahawks take over now, 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. They'll start out on the ground with Carson, and they're able to swarm him behind the line, and his rough night continues. Just a yard on the 1st down carry, so it's 2nd and 9. You know, despite the scoreline, I think they've got to like where they are here. They're on the road and just one big play away from getting right back in this game.
I'm going to follow right along with you.
And down he goes. The 49ers get there. D Ford racking up sack number 12 for him on the year.
So one quick, easy analysis about why they've struggled so far. They keep putting themselves in third and long situations. They just took another sack right there.
And the offensive film session tomorrow may be a little longer than it normally is.
Not a lot of positive grades will be handed out thus far.
To the right side and complete to Metcalf. And he'll go down just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. They get only 4 that time as that leads us to a 4th down.
That's certainly playing down in distance very well by the defense, isn't it? Take whatever you want underneath by all means.
Now here's Michael Dixon as he's on to punt for Seattle. On the return is Pettis. 21 yards. Well done on the return. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. The 49ers offense making its way back out there. And they split the uprights last time for 3. They've got the lead. They're not going to play this conservative. They're not hoping for another field goal. They're hoping for a touchdown.
I'm with you on that one. I like where your head is. I like the way you're thinking because you're exactly right. Trying to sit on a lead and play that way, that doesn't work too well for most teams. Run your offense. Run what you do best. Exactly. Put it all the way down and try to increase your lead in a big way. And the best way to do it, touchdowns.
Even from up here in the booth, the play-by-play guy could tell that there was some pretty good blocking on the right side of the line.
Well, you have good eyes, and it's almost like a ballet when it's executed that well. Everyone in the right spot, everyone in sync, everyone hitting the perfect notes. A little more percussion and a lot more bass, I would think, than you get your normal ballet. But at the same time, that was well executed.
Here we go. 180! 54 Mike.
Now on 2nd and 13. Garoppolo. That's to the right side, complete to Kittle. 23 yards the pickup there.
Well, from an offense's perspective, that sure was pretty because the corner route is extremely difficult to defend from my perspective.
What we just saw there, is that sort of the evolution of the tight end position?
Yeah, I think it is because more and more tight ends are being treated like wide receivers. These are some agile players.
Oh, now Breida loses it, but this will fortunately wind up out of bounds.
I don't know about you, but I could hear and feel the sigh of relief all the way up here in our booth.
That was palpable. The sideline, the friend there.
No doubt about it. The ball goes over the sideline, able to retain possession, no turnover. I know his coaches are screaming, just hang on to the ball, man.
He's coming, double up.
On 2nd and 7, Garoppolo. And he's taken to the ground, but he was pulled down by the face mask. Here come the flags. And I believe this is going to be a 1st down. So that flag will cost him 15.
And it doesn't matter anymore how you get the face mask. Any part of it, that's going to be 15 yards.
Garoppolo gives to Breida. He'll get a nice chunk there on the 1st down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. On 2nd down and 4, Garoppolo. And he hauls it in the end zone. Touchdown, San Francisco. Deebo Samuel, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the 49ers add 6 to their lead. Gold with the extra point, and the lead is up to 15 now. That time a 6-play drive. And the end result for the 49ers, a touchdown. After the touchdown, it's Robbie Gould now to kick it away. This will be fielded on the back line of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. As Seattle now ready to march onto the field. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. They'll wind up losing 3 yards here, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 13. Now, they struggled to get him rolling on the ground in the first half, and that's sort of continuing here in the third quarter.
Yep, I don't think it's time to abandon the running game. I would say keep feeding the horse, and I believe he'll eventually reward them, especially as we get deeper in the game.
They'll wind up losing 3 yards here, and they're going to face an uphill battle here on 3rd and long.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
They'll get 11, but it'll still lead to a 4th down. Now here's Michael Dixon. He's been one of their few bright spots so far. Back now here in Santa Clara. It's the Seahawks with possession of the football, but they do trail here to begin quarter number 4. Oh, jumping over. A good return there. Call it 13 yards. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. The San Francisco offense getting their last-minute instructions before they take over here. Now, there are 2 scores on the plus side. Still time here in this 4th quarter, but maybe you start thinking about playing keep away?
Yeah, I think here's the situation. You're not thinking touchdowns anymore. You're just thinking first downs. To keep up with your theme there, playing keep away, first downs, they can't touch the ball.
A pass there over the middle to start things out. And he's going to be taken down with a marker on the field. So let's see about the call. So that one a hold right guard.
And you understand why offensive and defensive linemen probably go to martial arts schools and work on their hands so often, because that can be the make or break difference on a play. This time he had to grab a jersey in order to make the play happen. Got caught for the penalty.
Here's a handoff left side to Breida. Room past the 20, and he is out of bounds, able to get it across the 20-yard line. They get 14 yards, but not enough for the first down due to the previous penalty. And I think we can get used to seeing more of that in this 4th quarter, especially if they're having success on the ground like they did there.
Yeah, I think back when we met with the head coach in preseason, and all he talked about was building a bully. And I think it was this situation he was envisioning. Trying to ice a game, plenty of time left, but being able to give the ball to his big runner and pound away and try and finish off a game.
Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on first down. Looking to throw, Garoppolo. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. With a sack, it's Ziggy Ansah.
Got to give him points for the attempt, but there's just a wave of pressure there. A host of people in the area. Evades a few, but couldn't evade all of them.
That huge loss on the sack makes this job much more difficult. It's now 2nd down and 22 yards to go. Now this one complete downfield on the left side. And they work this well upfield across the 45. That one good for 26 and a first down. They have the nice cushion. They just want to pour it on right now, still throwing the football.
And I know my background says, why do you need to do this? Just go ahead and run out the clock and get a win. But as many people pointed out to me, it's a video game, man. Go ahead and put the numbers up. Sportsmanship, not an issue.
Exercise those fingers.
Well, they're unable to convert that into much, but it's never a bad idea to try to get the ball into a tight end of his caliber's hands and see what kind of disruption he can cause.
I got this.
Throwing again on 2nd down. Garoppolo. Throw right side is going to be caught by Samuel. And past the 35, he'll be dropped a yard or 2 shy of the 30. 19 yards to pick up there. Move the chains.
These guys are running offense like you drive. The pedal is down, stomped down. How about that? Back-to-back completions. They are rolling.
So much for being conservative and running that football. Garoppolo now. A perfect 8 for 8 to start the second half. Not bad. 1st and 10. Pass complete to his receiver, Pettis. Another big hitter there. This one good for 18. Still throwing the football here, even with the big lead.
Yeah, I know you and I came up in a different era, and we think about sportsmanship and all that. Other people think about fantasy points and getting their numbers. That's all they care about right now.
And he'll be taken down here at about the 11. Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8. Able to stay in bounds, so the clock keeps rolling, and this defense right now backed up in the red zone. Another touchdown, it's over. They've got to stand tall quickly.
Been in this spot before. Now there's a little bit of desperation creeping in, and all you're doing when you're talking to your defensive teammates is first guy there, hold him up. Second, third guy in, rake at the football. Get it out. We've got to create a turnover because one more score, and this game's over.
A 2nd down pass play there, but it's incomplete.
I know our vantage point might be a little bit better way up here, but that looked like an ill-advised throw to me. I didn't see anything open, and this play just didn't look right from the beginning.
It did not. I thought he might get outside and just chuck it away. Dangerous pass, incomplete. Meanwhile, on 3rd down, they take a shot at the end zone, but it's incomplete.
Certainly looked like they were getting ready to convert there on 3rd down, but what an effort to get his hand on that one, knock it away, and brings up a 4th down decision.
So with that, you figure this game's pretty much out of reach at this point.
Yeah, it's going to take a heck of a comeback to come from 3 scores down, but don't change that channel. Don't go away. Miracles can happen, and you want to be here in case it does.
You're a company man.
Now, aren't I, though?
Defensively, you said coming in earlier in the broadcast, the magic number was 20 points for you. That's what you thought they would have to hold this offense to, or less than that. And, wow, they've done that in a big way, haven't they?
And not only have they done it, they put themselves in a great...
Now the Niners get there and bring him down. Nick Bosa racking up sack number 12 for him on the year.
We've been around this league for a while, and many coaches never pull their starting quarterback, almost no matter the situation. In this case, though, I think he's got to make a decision. He's taking a pretty good beating out there.
Yeah, with the deficit, maybe not wanting to risk an injury. And they'll bring him down here right around the 17-yard line. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down. You got the big lead defensively, willing to give him that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle him after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
They do get 9, but it leads to 4th down. All right, they're going to try and keep hope alive here on 4th down. They're going for it. 2 minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. And they're indeed going to go for it here on 4th down. So trailing here in the last quarter. Let's see how this plays out. Here's Wilson to throw. And this is going to be incomplete. They had to go for it with such little time remaining. And the Niners take over in terrific field position. So they tried to go for it for pride, but it really wouldn't have mattered. This one, it was already determined.
No doubt about it. This one was over a while ago.
And for one of the first times tonight, he's going to be held up at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there. 2nd down. Throwing on 2nd down. Garoppolo. His throw caught right around the 6. And he gets it all the way down inside the 10 and mark him at the 5. Last play, they got stuffed at the line. Different story here, over 20 yards.
Partner, it's a lot of fun watching the NFL now, isn't it? Because when the big fella runs routes, it used to be when we were kids, he'd run about 3 different routes, and that was it. Now he can run anything and catch the balls we just saw there.
And the hole closes quickly here. He can fight only to about the 4. Only a yard on the pickup there. 2nd and goal.
A lot can go wrong when you call a play like this down in the red zone, but that's where you appreciate this from your head coach. He's not afraid to trust his guys to do the right thing, and as a player, that means an awful lot.
2nd down and goal. Garoppolo, and give him another 6. It's caught for a touchdown, and the blowout continues.
And to me, that touchdown allows you to start grinning widely on your sideline. I think they pretty much locked this one away.
Yeah, that's the clincher, the proverbial icing on the cake, if you will. After the touchdown, it's Robbie Gould now to kick it away. This is fielded at the goal line. And he'll get it up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. The Seattle offense now set to come back out on the field. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that.
Pressure comes, and Wilson's going to go down. Now the Seahawks going to use the first of their timeouts as they stop it with 28 seconds to go in this football game. Throwing on second and long. Wilson. The catch is made here by Tyler Lockett. Now the Seahawks call the second of their 3 timeouts as the clock stops with 23 seconds to go in the game. Third and long. It's Wilson. Now into a double team, and it's intercepted. It's the former Seahawk, Richard Sherman, and his guys will set up shop at midfield at the 50-yard line.
So many times we end the game, and as we're recapping it, we're talking about what offenses did and how they won the game. Let's flip this one over. The defense, they frustrated the offense the entire ball game. That's why they're walking out of here with a victory.
And they're going to love to walk out of here with that as their final act, that interception. Good way for them to end it. Out on the field now, here come the 49ers. And this one all over but the shouting, you might say. Now, there's one timeout remaining defensively, but probably no real need to use it here.
Yeah, the only time they would use it, strictly for pride.
Now, here's a pass on first down that's knocked away and incomplete. The linebacker, Bobby Wagner, able to get back in coverage and knock it free. After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Garoppolo now. And that'll be incomplete with 11 seconds remaining now. The Niners on 3rd down. They've had their troubles, just 1 for 6. This is 3rd and 10. From midfield, here's Garoppolo. And a big loss here as he's taken down. The 330-pounder Al Woods brings the boom on the sack. So the victory here for San Francisco, and they were really helped by their defense, forcing 3 turnovers.
I think what we saw in this one, today's defense. And what I mean by that is in the old days, pitching shutouts was big time. That was paramount. But the big thing was holding people down, holding down their yardage, right? Don't let them throw the ball through the air and gain a lot of... But now, it's about taking the ball away. Taking away possessions, getting the ball back for their offense. They had 3 takeaways in this one, and it led them to victory.
So for the Niners, the win will move them to 7-2 now on the year. And they'll get to stay home again next week. Meanwhile, for the Seahawks, it's a loss that'll drop them back to 500 through 10 games. And they'll get a late bye next week, which might be coming at the right time. And they'll be back in action